This video is brought to you by Spigen. In my recent Tech Everyday Carry video, I got many requests to do a desk setup tour video, so here we are. Let me show you my ultimate desk setup. Now, this video will be mostly focused on the tech as well as the accessories, with a little bit of home and decor thrown in as well. By the way guys, I will leave all the purchase links to all the products down in the description. But first, I am doing a giveaway on this brand new iPhone 14. And if you want a chance to win, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment with your Instagram username. And then follow me on Instagram, where I will announce the winner on June the 11th. Powering my desk setup is my M2 Pro 14-inch MacBook Pro. Now, why did I choose this particular model? Well, first of all, is for its truly great design. I love how thin and relatively lightweight it is, considering all the power that you do get. These Apple silicon chips are truly something to behold, especially when compared to the older Intel Macs. I edit 4K video on this every day for this channel, and it does so with absolute ease. And when I'm taking it on the go, the great battery life is also such a plus. You get lots of ports on the side. You get that SD card slot, which is especially great if you're a content creator like me. And the display that you get, not only is it color accurate, it is also super sharp and has a 120 Hz refresh rate, making it an absolute joy to use. In terms of the specs, I decided to go for the base model, so the only thing I did upgrade was the storage, which I brought up to 2 TB, and this allows me to edit my videos locally on the computer as opposed to using an external hard drive, which will ultimately be faster. All in all, these new Macs, they are relatively expensive, yes, but you do get a lot in return, and I think these machines will last you a good 5+ years with ease, and I can comfortably say that this particular M2 Pro 14-inch MacBook Pro is the best all-around computer that I have used so far. I love using it docked, which is actually how I use it most, and at the same time, this design is just super easy to take on the go when traveling. So earlier, I mentioned that I use my Mac docked most of the time, and when I do, I pair it with this universal laptop stand from Spigen. Now, Spigen are actually the sponsor of today's video, and they make some really great products for your desk setup, starting off here with this laptop stand. Now, the reason why I love this stand is for its portability. You can see it folds down to a really small size, making it super easy to take with you on the go, and then to set it up only takes a matter of seconds. You can just prop it up and then position it in up to 6 different positions, so you can have it more angled or more flat. And then I place my Mac right on top, and then the rubber feet will hold it into place. And this allows me to have my MacBook set up right next to my display, angling it just a little bit higher so that it aligns with the display, and this makes it much more ergonomic and comfortable to use. Speaking of the display, this brings me to my display of choice, which is the Apple Studio display. Now, are there better value options? Yes. But does the Studio display offer an all-around package that no other display does? Also yes. Now, the display is a little bit too large to have with me here on camera, but you'll see it on my desk. I have it set up right next to my MacBook, and again with the stand, the two are perfectly aligned, so I can easily drag windows from one to the other. Now, the display itself has a super sharp 27-inch 5K resolution, which makes it great for editing content. It is also very bright and color accurate, and the incredible aluminum and glass design really matches the MacBook Pro so well, and there is no denying that it is by far the best looking monitor out right now. I also really like that it just takes one cable to connect and power and charge my MacBook Pro, and it also gives access to the extra USB-C ports that you get on the back of the Studio display, to which I always have a USB-C cable and Lightning cable connected when I need it. Now, I do have 2 small gripes with this display. One is the admittedly high asking price, and the second, which is a little bit bigger, is the fact that it is just a 60 Hz refresh rate, unlike the 120 Hz that you get on the MacBook Pro. This next product is not as much tech related, but believe me, it is just as important, and that is the chair. So prior to getting a proper office chair, for many years I used a dining table chair to sit in and work all day. And when finally switching to a proper office chair, more specifically the Herman Miller V-Roost chair, my life absolutely changed. No, but in all seriousness, I do think it is worth investing in something that you spend so many hours using each day, not just for your comfort, also longer term health and posture. Even just saying that reminds me to sit up right. What I like especially about the V-Roost chair is that it is highly adjustable and also sits slightly on the firmer side, which is something that I do prefer. And then sitting beneath my Studio display is this really nice vegan leather, faux leather desk pad from Spigen. The vegan leather itself has this really nice grain texture, which adds enough grip to keep your keyboard in place, but is still smooth enough to comfortably use a mouse on top. And this is a balance that I find that few desk pads strike right. And then on the back, you get a thick layer of this non-slip material, meaning it won't move on your desk. And it is also water resistant, which means I can comfortably place my cup of coffee on top. Speaking of coffee, when I'm at home, I like to drink Nespresso coffee. I find it strikes a great balance between offering convenience, it only takes seconds to make, but still offering a really good tasting cup of coffee as well. If you are curious, my favorite capsules are actually the Scuro, as well as the Stormio, which I have right here. And then typically, I like to drink out of the Starbucks mug, so I'm kind of building a collection of all the places and countries that I've lived throughout my life. And then when it comes to things like to-do lists, brainstorming, or even sketching video thumbnails, I like to use a proper paper notebook. And my go-to are these notebooks from Papier. Now they have a broad range of colors and designs to choose from. I also really like that they can be personalized, so I've got my name or my initials on some of them. You've actually probably seen some of these books in the background of my video. I think they work really great as props and just generally look good on my desk. Another thing I particularly like about these notebooks is that they use good high quality paper that doesn't bleed through if, say, when you are using a marker or something like a highlighter, which is something that does always bother me about some other notebooks. And then finally, we get to another product that I can safely catch and throw, unlike a coffee cup or a studio display. My earbuds of choice are the AirPods Pro 2. Now, I think if you are already in the Apple ecosystem, these earbuds are going to be the best all-around earbuds that you can get. I especially love how they instantly connect and also switch between my iPhone and my Mac, depending on which device I am using. And then when it comes to the sound quality, I found them to sound really great too. They are clear, there is a lot of depth, and you get a really broad soundstage that you don't otherwise get with earbuds like this. And somehow, compared to other earbuds as well, I find there to be less lag or delay compared to other Bluetooth earbuds, and this means I can actually use these for editing my videos as well. And then when it comes to Zoom conferencing or meetings, which I do almost every day as well, I find the built-in microphone to be really top-notch. When I use them during the day, I'll typically only have one in at a time, and this allows me to still hear my fiance, who actually works in the same room as me. But then when I do go out, say for commuting or traveling, the ANC that the AirPods Pro 2 provide is best in class and really nice to have. When it comes to my mouse, I use the Logitech MX Master 3. Now, I really like this design. It is super ergonomic, so really comfortable to use in the hand, not too big, not too small, providing support all throughout the palm. And I also really like the customizable buttons. So on the sides here, I use these for volume, and then I use the thumb button here for mission control to quickly switch between my apps. Another feature specific to the MX Master 3 is you get that side secondary scroll wheel. And this is especially great in apps like Final Cut, where you can actually scroll within the timeline, something you'd otherwise need a touchpad or trackpad to do. And to complement my mouse is the Apple Magic Keyboard. So I really like this. This is actually one from an iMac. It's a really standard but good low profile chiclet style keyboard. I like how thin it is. It takes up very little room on the desk, especially this version, which doesn't have the additional number pad, which I don't really find myself using, but it does have Touch ID, and this makes it super easy to instantly log in to my Mac. But I'd say the biggest reason I use this keyboard in particular is earlier when I spoke about my MacBook, I mentioned that I use it both docked as well as on its own when I'm on the go. And having the same keyboard, or almost the same keyboard on my desk as I do on my MacBook, means I can seamlessly switch between them without having to adjust at all. I find that if I go from let's say a mechanical keyboard to my MacBook, the first couple of sentences I'm always kind of having to get a feel for it again, but that's not the case when I go from the Magic Keyboard to my MacBook Pro. And this next accessory is probably the smallest thing in my setup, and this here is the singular magnetic cable holder from Spigen. Now I actually have a couple of these set up on my desk, and this gives me access to a USB-C cable and a lightning cable at all times. Great to sync and charge multiple devices, and this is just a really easy way to keep your cables organized. Now, I love how you can easily magnetically pick up your cables, and this allows you to also dock them very easily, making sure that not only they'll always be in the same place where you last left them, it will also make sure that your cables don't find behind your desk. And up next is my Apple Watch Ultra. Now, I've been wearing this every day. You've pretty much seen this in most of my recent videos. I love the utilitarian magnesium design that is not only durable, but I think really gets the feel and look of a proper tool watch. The big 49mm display means that content on your screen, whether it be text or notifications, is going to be extra clear and also more comfortable to use, and at the same time is also going to give you more content on screen at a time compared to like the Series 8 or the SE, which means less scrolling and zooming. And then the 2+ day battery life that you get only on the Apple Watch Ultra is really great. It means that, for example, on a 2-day trip, I don't need to worry about bringing a charger as the watch will last for the duration. And then in terms of the watch band, I'm currently using the green Alpine Loop. This adds a touch of color while still being understated, and I think perfectly match the sort of warm grayish look of that titanium design. Now, the battery life on the Apple Watch Ultra is truly fantastic, but when I do need to charge it, I use the Power Arc from Spigen. And this is really great because it also doubles as a dock, so it means I can sort of have my watch set up, whether it be on my desk or my nightstand, and sort of use it as a clock. It supports all current Apple Watch models, uses USB-C, and is actually Apple certified to make sure it will work properly with your Apple Watch. I also like that it really has some heft, and combine that with the rubber pad on the bottom means it really firmly plants on the desk and is going nowhere. And this brings me to my phone of choice. Now, as a tech reviewer, my phone changes quite often, so typically speaking, I like to switch to a new phone around 1 or 2 weeks or so before doing my review or comparison videos. In fact, I recently switched from the Google Pixel 7a, but with that said, I keep coming back to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and here's why. I've said this before, but to me, the 14 Pro Max offers the ultimate iPhone experience. I love the premium stainless steel and matte glass design that is also durable. And then when you combine that with the big 7.6-inch display, which lets you see more content at a time and also for longer with that true 1 to 2 day battery life, these really are game changers for power users like me. You also get a best-in-class camera system. In fact, I use video shot on my 14 Pro Max in my YouTube videos from time to time. And then also unique to Apple, you get that 6 to 7 years of software support and updates. So while the upfront cost is high, if you divide it in terms of the cost of ownership over the many years that this phone can last, I think it's a pretty good offer. And then to complement this flagship phone, I use Apple's leather case. Now, I've previously had the midnight color. You've probably seen that in my previous videos, but I've actually recently switched to the forest green. Now, is this forest green? You can tell me in the comments, but it is green nonetheless, and I think it looks really sharp. I think it beautifully pairs with the space black iPhone, and one of the things I always love about Apple's leather cases is just that premium, luxurious feel that you only get with these cases. The metal buttons are great. They're also relatively thin and low profile for a leather case, and in my experience, actually hold up quite well. To charge my 14 Pro Max, I use the OneTap Pro magnetic charging stand from Spigen. Now, what I like about this stand is that I can just place my phone right on top, and thanks to the OneTap technology, it will automatically align the phone, so you don't have to worry about perfectly placing it right. Just drop it into place, and the magnets will do the work. You can also adjust the angle of your iPhone. This is especially great if you have it set up on a desk, allowing it not just to charge your phone, but also act as a stand or a dock. And this is great as I find having this next to my display is an easy way to see incoming notifications in front of me when I'm sitting on my desk. And then when I'm deep in focus, I like to have a candle lit. More specifically, this Loewe Oregano scent candle. And I find that over time, you kind of start to associate a given smell with a task. So for example, when I light this candle, my brain goes into deep focus mode, whether that be a late night edit or a long scripting session. Maybe that's just me, but I like to have this on while I work. And then when it comes to my wallet, my go-to is this Louis Vuitton card holder wallet. This here is perfect for me as it holds anywhere from 2 to 5 cards, which is more than enough as I actually use Apple Pay for most things. But still, as a backup, it's always good to have just a few credit cards or ID cards in the wallet. I really like this particular design. It has an iconic LV monogram design, which I think looks really great. And I've actually had this for many years, and it's held up exceptionally well. In the same pocket as my wallet, I have my keys, and to organize them and to keep them in one place, I use the Orbit key organizer. Now, the key holder like this, I really like because not only does it have a nice leather finish, which will perfectly pair with my wallet, the keys are also in one place so they don't rattle and also don't scratch other things that you may have in your pocket. So for example, the wallet or my AirPods case, which I usually carry next to it as well. And I like that it all folds up into a really neat, compact little package. So that gives you a look at my current desk setup for mid-2023. I'd love to hear from you. What are your setups like, and what's some of the tech that you use most every day? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't seen them yet, I highly recommend watching my EDC or my tech everyday carry video, as well as my iPhone 14 Pro first 10 things to do video to get the most out of your iPhone in terms of its features, performance, as well as longevity. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.